always talk about love and marriage the way that God intended. Life experience, here we share it. The No Fruit Podcast. Tune in from any platform. No Fruit Podcast. Will help your spirit transform.
We hope that we can transform you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
What's going on, y'all? And today, we have a very interesting topic we would like to discuss.
You're going to transform from this topic.
I probably will. So, you know, we have some unusual experiences from time to time, and most recently, the craziest thing that I believe is for me has been, with our kids, growing up, we used to sleep with the door open, things like that. Well, most recently, we've been like pulling it closed, right? Just so everybody can have their privacy or whatever. And for whatever reason, our cat likes to bust in the middle of the night. Just, push the door all the way open. So, unfortunately, depending on what state of sleep I'm in, either I think someone is coming in to rob us or we have a ghost. So, because you don't see anything. So,
Oh, my goodness.
So, our topic was supposed to be, what's the craziest sound you can hear in the middle of the night? But here's the question, though.
That doesn't make a sound.
Right. What happens if it doesn't make a sound? Because
I guess the air moving, the door, but it doesn't, there's no sound. There's no
there
creak.
isn't.
There's nothing. It's just
Right.
the light from the hall or whatever.
I don't know what it is. I just have this sense of when the door slides open and I sit up and I look, I'm like, oh snap, ain't nobody there. So what am I,
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Then I look down and I'm waiting to see the cat, and the cat is just sitting out there in the hallway. So the cat doesn't even walk in. The cat is just sitting in the hallway like, open up the door, punk.
Oh,
So I don't know how to take that. So the topic today was supposed to be the scariest sound you've ever heard, in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
But
That's no sound.
Right.
It's just the scariest thing that would ever happen.
No, I think that is the scariest sound. No sound. Well, what do you think, Kafi? What's your scariest sound that you've ever heard in the middle of the night?
I have quite a few. I have quite a few that come to mind of sounds.
Okay.
So, like you said, I don't know what was going on, but in the middle of the night, the alarm went off. Do you remember that?
Our alarm?
Yes.
The house alarm?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that.
And you ran down. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, because I always wondered, like, if it goes off, will it really wake us up?
Right.
Like, do we sleep that soundly that, hey, I would sleep right through it or whatever?
Right.
But that joker went off, and we jumped up, and I don't know if a truck or something went by or whatever it was, but we, it woke us up. So that was the scariest thing for me, the scariest.
Okay.
No, I have some other stories.
Oh, all right.
So when we were first dating.
Right.
And
why you just bust out laughing?
Because the story is, I'm embarrassed.
Why?
But because it's embarrassing, but I'm going to get through it.
Okay.
Maurice and I were dating for several years or whatever, and I had purchased a home. And
oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
And most of my life I've lived in apartments, but I purchased a home. We were in the process of getting married. So I was very scared to live in this, nervous, I won't say scared. I was nervous living in this place by myself. So I had a sofa bed. So I decided to sleep on the sofa bed because I figured, hey, easiest exit. I'm right here to get out if I need to get out.
Right.
If I hear something downstairs in the basement, I can get to that. If I hear something upstairs, then if I want to go up and check on it, I can. So Marisa and I were talking on the phone, you know, whatever. We both had to go to work the next day. And, you know, so we talked on the phone for a while. And then it was like, all right, got to go to bed. Got to go to sleep.
Right.
So hung up and whatever. I think there was a little bit of a storm going on. I don't know. So, you know, winds in the trees in the front were blowing. Okay, I can see the shadows. I can kind of tell what that was. But I had drifted off. And next thing I know, I hear these clanking, clank, 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 clank. What the heck is that? So I sit up in the sofa bed, and I'm like, okay, do I leave?
Now, mind you, she had a whole bedroom upstairs with furniture and everything. So this lets you know where she was. Okay.
So I sat up in the bed, and I was like, oh, my gosh, what is that? So my mind starts playing tricks on me, like, all right, somebody's trying to break in because I have a deck. I'm like, all right, they climbed up on the deck. They, you know, getting in the the back window or something like that. And I'm thinking, like, did I leave anything open? Like, what's going on? Clank, clank, clank. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. Like, do I run out the door? You know, but where am I running? I don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
It's the middle of the night.
Right.
And so what do? I call my hero. You know, I call Maurice, and I'm like, I hear this noise upstairs, and you're like, look, go in the kitchen, get a knife,
right,
get the biggest one you can get, and I get a knife, and I'm like, you said I'm gonna stay on the phone with you. Thank God for cordless phones.
I know at that time, right.
So this is before cell phones and all that stuff, y'all. So now he says, you know, go upstairs, and you know, whatever. So I'm, you know, horror movie, knife in hand, phone in hand, creeping up the steps, trying not to make a noise. Thank goodness there's carpet on the steps.
And I can't remember what time it was.
I don't know.
But like you said, we had to get up in the morning. So
right. And you're like, you don't have a car, so did you have a car at that time? I don't recall.
No, not quite. We was working on that.
So, you know, I'm thinking, like, how's he going to get here? You know, or whatever. Like, oh, goodness. So I get up to the top of the steps, and I check, you know, the bedrooms because that's where the windows are. And I don't see anything. I'm turning on all the lights. Nothing. And he's like, you know, you still there? I'm like, yeah, I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. Whatever. Nothing in the bedrooms. Okay. Nothing in the closets. Now I have a cat. Did I have the cat? I don't know.
Yes.
I had the cat, so you know, it wasn't the cat making the noise. And I go in the bathroom, and the noise gets louder.
And Kafi, what was that?
The dang skylight in the bathroom wasn't pulled all the way shut, and it was making clank clank noises.
So here's the thing, y'all. I think we experienced that today.
Yeah, because we have that clank clank going on now.
So
but we know what it is.
We do, but here's the problem with that. You know, first of all, our daughter takes showers that are.
She don't use cold water. Just let's put it that way.
Yeah. So when she gets out the shower, the alarm literally goes off because it's so steamy and everything else. So. That's one thing. But we tell her, hey, open up the skylight, you know, let some of that out, yada, yada, yada. Well, she does that from time to time. She doesn't lock it, right?
Mm-hmm. She just pulls it.
She just pulls it closed. So the craziest thing, it is 3:13 in the morning, and you hear the BAM! And so all of a sudden, your heart, it's sitting next to you. You know, your eyes are wide as, you know, I don't know.
Headlights.
Right. Because you don't know what in the world is going on. You know, so because we live not too far from the airport, you know, I have this fear that the plane is going to fall off the sky, right?
Or a piece of it's going to fall.
Right. So my brain's like, the airplane did it. you know,
Right.
listen,
Right.
like I just my brain just go crazy. So,
I
you
have
know,
another one though.
so I think that is the one. If you want to say some of the scariest noises
Yes.
that you hear, you know, I think that's one because I think that the plane finally fell. I'm sorry if I've never told you that, but you know when I stand outside on the steps and I look at the plane, I'm like, oh yeah, the planes look pretty, but what happens if it falls? We are kind of close to the runway.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So, yeah, I mean because they circle around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know when they have to, when things are crowded.
Right.
So, you know, it's like they circle around us. They over top of us, and you can hear like So I think that's one of the scariest sounds. Just hearing that skylight, banging in the middle of the night. I'm sorry. So what's your next one?
My next one is about you.
What?
Yes. So same situation, new home. Maurice and I are dating, and I don't think it was the middle of the night. I think we were sitting up watching TV in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
We had the lights off. I guess we were watching a movie or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was, there was nothing else on but the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a noise from the back of the house.
Okay.
And you were like, what's that? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, you don't hear that noise? And I was like, huh? He was like, no, for real, you don't hear that? I was like, what noise are you talking about? And he was like, you don't hear that noise coming from the back? And I was like, I just couldn't figure out what it was, like what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we waited a little while longer. And then you heard it again. You was like, you hear that, John? Do you remember this, Reese?
No, not really.
Not really.
Mm-mm.
So you was all excited, ready to jump up. I think the second time you did jump up and like walk towards it or whatever. And like, yeah, So I think I got up and followed you. And I was like, what, man? The ice maker?
Oh.
So my dad had bought me a refrigerator. And I always wanted one with an ice maker. So I had gotten a refrigerator with the ice maker. So later on that night, after the incident, Maurice was like, I've never had an ice maker, so I didn't know the sound.
Yo, let me tell y'all. So wait a second.
You know how like the arm goes up and the water comes in and all that noise, and then the ice like falls into the ice tray.
Right. So hold on, y'all. I can't be by myself in this one. I can't be because I'm gonna tell y'all. Yo.
We got an ice maker now, but we don't use it. So when somebody puts the arm down and it does go up, that is like, because you're not used to the sound.
Right.
It does like, what's that noise? But yeah,
I can't be by myself in that. I can't be by myself in that one. That's retarded.
I mean, so I don't know which one is worse. Me not understanding the sound of the skylight, or Reese not understanding ice maker noise. But go ahead, babe. What you want to say?
I can't. First of all, I gotta say I can't be by myself in this. That's number one. Number two.
He jumped up. He was ready to fight somebody, y'all.
Because
he was gonna protect me. He was gonna.
So
that's one of the instances where I knew I was in love, right? He was gonna fight something.
Yo.
He was gonna change that cubed ice to crushed ice. He was gonna crush it. He was gonna protect his baby. Oh my goodness.
Yo, that is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, those are some of the
that was hilarious.
Weird noises you hear in the middle of the night.
Yo. Yeah, the way you started off, I didn't remember. But once you said something about that ice maker,
yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like I said, I can't be by myself in that.
Why?
I want to know how many other people. There has to be somebody
nobody else get scared of no ice maker.
Yo, if you've never had one,
it's not even that loud.
It is loud.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Especially when it's I don't know. That one was. I don't want to say. I guess it was loud.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not used to it.
Right.
You get what I mean?
I mean, when the bucket is empty and it drops, yeah, that can be loud.
So what are you supposed to do?
Jump up and protect me.
I mean, look, You was scared of the skylight?
I was, but that was clanking, and I knew like it sounded like somebody was trying to come in.
Right.
The ice maker don't sound like somebody trying
It
to come
does. It does. And if you had known that it was the ice maker, why didn't you say, "Yo, Reese, it's the ice maker"?
I didn't hear the noise you were saying. It wasn't I was used to it by that time, so I was like, "What noise?" Like just like the airplanes. Like when we first got here, we even had airplanes at their house because we were in their path. So when we first moved, yes, like it was annoying to have those airplanes.
Right.
Then after a while, you knew like, hey, at this hour, you're gonna hear it for like 5 minutes.
Right.
You wait a couple hours and then you hear it again.
Right.
So but then it just you forget about it.
It's background noise.
It's not even noise. Like I don't even think about it.
Right.
So.
No, I mean, and like right now, I mean, we hear the planes. Like we're so close, like the house can shake from the planes. No, they can't. But because you watch, movies and YouTubes and things like that, you're fearful that hey, the plane is going to. Like we just looked at the YouTube the other night where it talked about turbulence and stuff, right?
Right.
And how the lady said they were flying, the plane went up, and then it like felt like a free fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking stuff was falling, like they said it was during mealtime, so stuff was falling all over the place and whatever else. So my thought is like, hey, at some point in time, the plane, a luggage or something's gonna hit our roof. I'm gonna be honest. So that's what I thought. When that thing clanks like that. Unfortunately, that's where my mind goes.
That's where your mind is.
Not all the time, but, because sometimes I can kind of gauge what it is, because they'll clang and then there's like a little bump, but when there's a real big bam,
right,
because it's not always the same, softness or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I think that somebody, might have jumped out the plane or something. I don't know.
All right, I got some more ideas.
You got some more?
Yeah, this is a good topic.
No,
right.
it is, but... How many times have you been scared in the middle of the night?
I've been scared a lot. So, where we live, like in the middle of the forest type place.
Yes.
And we had like a creek near our house. We had a lot of animals. So, in the middle of the night, I would go to the bathroom. And I would hear animals. Like dying.
I don't know if they were dying.
Yo.
They sound like they were dying.
Yeah, sound like they were dying. So you heard it, these animals too, right?
Yeah, I did. I think they're foxes or whatever it is
that
makes that sound.
It sounded like babies crying, like somebody slaughtering them. And I would and it was so dark, like I would peek out the window and I wouldn't see anything. And then I would ask our neighbor, "Did you hear that last night?" He's like, "Yeah, that was probably, like you said, the fox, or that was the hawk,
whatever,
something." Like he named a different animal every single time I asked him what it was.
Even though it's the same noise every single time.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
that's scary.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, that's very similar to. Isn't that what you said something about? You thought you saw a coyote running down the middle of the street.
It wasn't a coyote. It was a fox, and the neighbor said it was a fox too. And even here, where we live at now, people have taken pictures of a fox running down the street.
Yes.
So, no, they're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not.
Right.
It's still, still a crazy sound, though.
Yeah, they scream.
I mean, but when you're not used to it.
Oh, yeah. When you're a city person.
Yeah.
And you hear those kind of noises in the middle of the night, I really thought somebody was killing a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God. But I didn't know of any babies that lived nearby, but it's sure enough.
But it's sure enough, when you hear the night after and the night after and the night after.
Yeah, they ain't killing that many kids, but still.
Right.
So, the same house in the middle of the woods. This one's not about me. It's about your mom. So, so go ahead. You laughing? Go ahead. You tell it then.
No, I don't know which one. I don't know which one
you're
talking about.
You go ahead.
She had a few.
Well, just the middle of the night ones.
I don't know about the middle of the night one. I just know what she said in general.
Well, go ahead. It's probably the same.
I just know she said it was too quiet.
Too quiet. That's it.
Yeah, she just said it's too quiet.
And she was just like, she woke up in the middle of the night like, I don't hear nothing.
Yep.
And I know that feeling because I don't know where I first had this experience. It might have been when I first moved out to the burbs. And I woke up, I think I was in high school. And this is why I don't sleep with all my lights off and stuff anymore. Because I woke up, it was pitch black. I didn't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes. I saw the exact same thing. I closed my eyes. I thought I opened my eyes. I opened my eyes. I'm moving them around.
My
I
gosh.
saw nothing. I heard nothing.
Oh gosh.
It was the
you're killing me.
freakiest thing.
You killing me.
The freakiest
You're killing
thing.
me.
Why am I killing you?
You killing me.
So I have to. I mean, ever since then, I slept with a
I
radio
open my
on,
eyes. I close my eyes. I open my eyes. I close my eyes.
and I heard nothing.
Yo. Well, you know, my mom, she was talking to our son about that the other day.
Okay.
About how, you know, when she stayed with us, well, you know, when I wasn't feeling well, and she mentioned how quiet it was. She mentioned how the breeze was blowing in the window so beautifully. Yeah. You know, it was just a total different experience for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I understand where you're coming from when you're not used to being in that space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, you know, being out, you know, coming from the city to the suburbs, if you will.
Right.
You know, it's a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're used to cars racing up and down the street, to radios and motorcycles, and
even the street lights. Like for real,
you know,
yo. Like in the burbs, the street lights is only really at the corners. Like it's not. It's not so many street lights. Or the trees cover them up or something like that. Like,
they do.
So again, like I said, I opened my eyes, I closed my eyes. I saw nothing. Nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have not lived in a place where it's totally like that. Not really. I mean, or where, like you said, the place where we live, when you called it the woods. That's funny.
That big behind tree covered the street light.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, so even the cars underneath the light wasn't, you know, couldn't be seen. So, yeah, that one tree, it blocked everything.
Right.
The sun,
so unless you get out
everything.
your bed and you peek through the window, you could open your eyes and close your eyes and see the same thing if it was pitch black in the house.
Right.
You know, so.
You know,
yeah.
That's why everybody makes sure that they have their porch light on.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? But, yeah, but, you know, that's funny. Open my eyes or close my eyes. That's the funniest thing.
Why?
That's a new phrase now. We're going to make that into a song. I'm going to have to talk to our son and see if we can make that into a song.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be our new theme song.
New theme
Open my
song.
eyes, close my eyes.
It's all the same thing.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, we're going to make that into a song.
Mm-mm.
Hey, y'all, I just want to ask y'all a question. What's the scariest sound that y'all have heard in the middle of the night? As you see, what I have to deal with, it's the funniest thing. I guess because I'm in I guess protect mode. I guess so. I'm not in that you know, scary noise vibe. I guess.
Okay.
You know, especially when you're like half asleep.
Right.
You know, you dreaming that you're a superhero. You wake up, it's time for you to perform. You know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what you go do.
Yeah, because I can think of a few times you jumped up and grabbed something and then went downstairs.
You know, so yeah, because you know, I'm like, look, you interrupted my sleep. I'm trying to go back to sleep, so let's go take care of this. Whatever it is, the cat, you know, hitting something not, you know, being in a dish pan all the way. I guess.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, we've had that before. Something fall off the dish pan or
and mainly
a picture fall off the wall. And,
right. You know, so. Just
and I'm pretty good with, like, when the sound comes, I can kind of like, oh, that's just something falling off the wall. Or that's just, you know, the pot reshifting on the, you know.
Dish drain
or whatever.
Because there's some things that you really can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the some of the other scariest noises are when the neighbors do something crazy, and you're like, "What in the world is that?" And then you realize when you go downstairs, you're like, "Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong." Evidently, that wasn't over here. You get what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, for an example, before we go, it could be 1:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden you hear zzz. That's because our neighbor decides that they want to work on their car in the middle of the night, and I'm thinking that they chopping somebody up in the back of the house.
It might be.
You get, you know, so
neighbor.
and the only reason, right, you know, so you know, or them, you know, clanking stuff because they want to burn all the wood in their house.
Oh yeah.
You know, tearing up furniture and want to burn the wood. Like I don't know.
They have
I
a
don't
fire
know.
pit and they just like to burn stuff.
Right. You know, so I don't know what be going on with over there, but yeah. So that's some of the craziest noises that we've had. What about yourselves?
And smells, because when they burn that stuff, ooh.
Yeah, it's not the greatest smell. They be giving us, I don't know what they be giving us. But please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please email us at nofruitpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to tell us your scariest sounds that you've heard in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
Kafa,
Yes.
thank you very much for this topic. This was the funniest. And I think that I have forgotten all these moments.
You forgotten them? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you very much for tuning in, y'all.
Yay.
We talk to y'all later. Peace.
This week's episode has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.